a way that I hope that people eventually learn that a big part of this business, as you get bigger, you have to learn how to recreate yourself. And I put this picture up there because this is how it feels to recreate yourself, okay? That's how it feels. It's frustrating, it's annoying, and for us, when we went into the Q4 of 2020, this was a very hard time for me because I was very frustrated with doing just a million point base shop just another year. And I think I see a lot of people, they get to a certain moment in the career and they stop growing. And the minute you stop growing, you slowly feel like you're just getting your soul sucked out of you. And this is where interesting things start to happen, where the negative mindsets start to kick in. Complainers, naysayers, making excuses for people who are performing, always downplaying the newest person. And you just see I didn't want that. I just said, I need to grow. What is next? How do I reinvent myself? I know that this is not the best we can possibly be. I want to share the pressure. I know exactly what this company is meant to do. We got to figure this out. We got to figure out how to get to that next level. So I did what any logical, structured brain would do, and I did a SWOT analysis, okay? So I hope that you guys do the same thing because it really gave me clarity on exactly how I wanted our business to go into the next year. So I said, babe, we got to talk about our business. I got to figure out what's going on. So what are our strengths? There's a clear vision. We have the tools, we have the resources, we have Bamboo, the blueprint, the sales menu. We have more resources than we ever had before. There is no excuses here. We have a home office support staff that just keeps getting better, and it's only just the beginning. We had C-level execs coming in. Our core philosophy was always lead with recruiting, and you can see it instilled in a lot of our hierarchy and a lot of our leaders. But we said to ourselves, more authority, the thing that we have to understand is if we stop the ceiling in the base shop game, then it stops the ceiling in the base shop game for all of our leaders. And we had to figure out a way to get that ceiling a lot bigger and also make it look easy. So then we said, what are our weaknesses? So I said, the visibility of weekly activity, meaning I don't know really what activity is going on, both the personal and the team, like what's going on. We realized that there's 500 different million presentations that were going on too. Well, the reality of any hierarchy problem starts in the base shop. So how can I duplicate the newest person who's coming to the industry and they're completely scared of this whole brand new world and give them 5 different presentations versus just give them one? And give that one and make it so simple that they can regurgitate and repeat me quickly and they can build their confidence. Okay. Time management. I highlighted that in bold because as you get bigger, especially as you have a lot of MDs, if you don't learn how to manage your time, meaning taking your day-to-day schedule and being very protective of it. Like I'm talking about so super protective of it, but I'm also talking about very planned. Like you gotta plan your day in advance. I'm gonna give you a sample of it too. Lack of structure and training based off agent-specific levels. So we realized just like people go to college and they evolve over the course of freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, well that's exactly what's going on when people come into this industry brand new. That's why people love the fact that we develop people. And it takes time to develop them, but we never really thought about the curriculum, the phase of which people go through this. First, it's the basics, like entrepreneur, and what does it mean to recruit, and what kind of income are we building? We're building independent income, not income that depends on you, and that's a reflection of how many people you teach how to make money. Like all these things we have to teach them, and then they get licensed. It's a whole nother level they have to learn. Products and carriers and underwriting, because their lens is only from being a consumer of life insurance, not someone who actually represents the industry. And then the next level is what? Selling skills, like learning how to be likable. Like when you sit with people, like smile, but it can't be fake. And learning dialogue and languages. You can't say premium to somebody, you gotta say monthly amount. You can't say life insurance, death benefit, you have to say income protection, burial plan. So it's all these things that you have to learn, and then boom, then you birth certified field trainers out of the beginning phase of leaders. So we realized that this structure was not there. So spreading thin versus focusing on the willing, not tracking business effectively, not driving initiatives, what Ricky just talked about. Now what are our opportunities? We currently looked at our base shop. What is our base shop good at right now? Okay, we have a handful of people that I know can run basic appointments. We've had previous experience in running a million-point base shop, so we know what we're doing. And we have a core staff seasoned in what they're doing. We had a base shop coordinator, we have licensing, we have placement, we have a business analyst. We have a lot of good material to work with. So then I said, what are our threats? Biggest threat is I gotta be more aware of building builders, not building producers. It's a very dangerous cancer you gotta be aware of. That's what I mean by investing your time versus spending your time. Lack of FA and director promotions, And retention, because if I'm not getting people in and showing results quickly, then that retention is actually falling to the wayside. We probably miss a lot of people in the net that just slip through the holes just purely because we're not paying attention to this. Lack of developed minds leads to complainers. Business becoming boring because we're not making it fun, exciting, new people getting promoted, getting paid, showing progress, showing updates, things like that. And 100% virtual environment, although it was a great convenience for a lot of us, it also created a lot of bad habits. Because you cannot create a culture, which is what you're known for. Meaning, if you're going to teach someone how to be an entrepreneur, they need to be around who? Entrepreneurs. The only way you can teach a new way of thinking is competitive repetition around an environment. It cannot be done via Zoom. Okay, so let's talk about the first biggest thing that I had to really check myself on, which is time management principles. And I'm going to go through these quickly because I wanted to get into the results of it. So tip number 1, plan your day the night before at minimum. And when I say plan it, prepare your day hour by hour. And do not ever let anybody touch the schedule. Subconsciously, what happens is you're going to go to sleep, okay, soundly. And then you're going to wake up with ideas refreshed. How many people wake up with anxiety because you're now thinking about what you have to do that day? Oh my goodness. You not only will sleep more soundly, but the ideas that you come out with, you'll feel like you have more control over your day because you planned it a day in advance. Tip number 2, what I mean by scheduling it hour by hour, what it does is reduces your stress and releases a lot of energy. Increases productivity throughout the day, increases your sense of power. For a lot of people, like you have to-do lists, this is a great energizer. Just check it off the to-do list. Plan time for your family. So part of your agenda should probably be planning time for your family so you can manage that guilt. So I always allocate a few hours a day for me. And let me explain what I mean by that. It could be an hour of working out in the morning. It could be 30-minute reset moments throughout the day because you're going to be in back-to-back appointments and you're taking on people's energies. You need a reset moment. You don't think it affects you, but if you're not aware of your own emotions, you're not going to have an effective next appointment because you're not addressing the effects it's having on you right now. So get up, have that 30-minute time, go read a book, go watch a quick show on your little tablet if you have to, go take a walk around the building, get your energy back in the right space because that person right before you just pissed you off. You're like, I need a minute. But then you go back in there because it's all planned out in your calendar. You're sitting in an appointment, you're like, I can't wait to my reset moment. I can't wait, I need it right now. I'm gonna lose it on this person. Okay, great, what would you like? We're arguing about what? $12 app? Okay, great, awesome, perfect. Why am I spending 45 minutes with you? Because I need to. I'm training an associate. Okay, so then you do that. And then maybe for you to be able to plan out the day, like I'm gonna spend 5 to 6 having dinner with my boys. You know why? So I don't have to feel guilty that after dinner I come back and do what? Do the BOM until when? Endless. Meeting after meetings. Okay. Tip number 3, start your day early. Autobiographies of the most successful people had the habit of rising early because they had a chance to have that reflective moment to think about the day they're about to embark on. It's a very subtle thing, but it's very powerful. Success requires discipline to stick to the schedule because you will be constantly bombarded by distractions, starting with your phone and reminders and all those things. Reflection before the day starts allows you to have a more clear mind for the day ahead. Tip number 4, derail the derailers. Fine-tune your organizational skills. Most wasted time is done with admin work or looking for things, so start to delegate them. If it's not part of your calendar, delegate them away. Interruptions are everywhere. Emails, social media, browsing, requests from family and friends, saying yes to everything, shackles of alerts, text messages, signal do not disturb during these moments. So I'm going to get to the mock example of a calendar, but I want you guys to look at it and say, this is what you need to stick to. And you can't let things derail you from focusing on your calendar. Identify your prime time. You always know throughout the entire day when you have the most energy. Fair enough?
Yes.
Like you feel it, don't you? That needs to be the prime time where the most important activity takes place. Now, how you define the most important activity is up to you, but I hope it's not administration work. Most important work requires you to be the best and most alert during that peak time. Structure your day for internal prime time, your peak energy, and external prime time, your associates and clients is what I would always put that time to be. Number 6, eliminate the busy work, take treasure time, increase investment time, minimize the mandatory things, eliminate the empty space. Easily controlled by hiring a great support staff, including those at home. Number 7, obsess about your greatest impact activity. So this should be done during prime time. Your job is to identify what is the greatest impact activity that you have. And in our business, to be honest with you, it's prospecting, calling new associates, calling leaders, 8 speed filters, all the core things that drive the activity of your business. So emails, meetings, and voicemails can wait until the greatest impact activity is done. But this is what starts to happen when you don't and are not strict about your time management. You put emails and voicemails, text alerts, notifications before your greatest impact activity. You don't get around to that until 1 o'clock when it should have been at 9 or 10 o'clock. And then by that time, you're exhausted. And then you don't give the energy the right way to the people that you really need to give it to. Number 8, track your time. I guarantee if you actually ask yourself what you do throughout the day, you realize you do a lot of wasted time. A lot of spending your time versus investing your time. Number 9, create your priority list. If you have 35 priorities, that's not a priority. I'll repeat it. If you have 35 priorities, it's not a priority. Priorities are 1 to 3. They're not a handful of things. That means you're spreading yourself too thin. Number 10, you need to keep a to-don't list because we have a lot of to-do lists. How about a to-don't list? And this to-don't list needs to be, you need a reminder of what to stay away from. Most times people do not realize how often they need to be reminded where to avoid wasting their time. Oh no, I have this list, my to-don't list. Do not check up on policies. That should be for an assistant. Do not respond to emails during prime time. Like these things are to-don't list. Okay, so this is a mock example. Now for some people, they're gonna think, oh, this is calendar, it's just a calendar. No, this is, if anything I'm about to go over next, if you don't do this, you won't accomplish that. You have to make it a priority for time management, to reset yourself, to have your me time, because you will be the most productive if you take this accordingly and commit to it and don't waver from it. But I will tell you, you will be challenged. Just watch and see. Create a calendar and watch how many times you're challenged not to keep up with the details of that calendar. Okay, so let's talk about the things that I had to go and do my SWOT analysis on and improve on. Number 1 was systems, okay? Because a lot of people are afraid of high volume. It's only because they don't have the systems in place to handle the high volume. So that's the one thing I need to focus on. Connecting with the newest person immediately. I need to hire more people to help with new business, meaning I had one person handling all of our business that was submitted versus one person handling my personal and one person handling my base. Why did I want that? Because I realized that I was the example, so I need to separate out and make sure my numbers were something I could use to actually train everybody else, because I was mixed in. I needed to audit the CFT requirements. So I had 10 CFTs in the beginning of January, and I said, guys, listen, we need to revamp the CFT thing. And I'm gonna put a challenge out there for the next 30 days, or 31 days, 30 days of September, June, 31 days. 31 days, by the end of it, I'm going to narrow it down to the CFTs. This is what I envisioned the CFTs. Coachable, willing, committed. They want to be the next MDs of the hierarchy. They care about helping people. They have a teamwork mentality. They don't mind being held accountable. They don't mind the pressure of it, but they also will be the most rewarded and recognized individuals. Now, I don't want to put that pressure on anybody here, so this is why I want to take the next 31 days to see who is ready for that. And if you're not, that's okay, but I just don't want to put that pressure on you. So I indirectly did that so that we can take 10 CFTs that we had right now down to 3, because that energy was very important with what this group was about to do. So we started to track their activity, and I said, man, how do I figure out what they're doing every day? And so I started to do it. I said, you know what? We need to figure out one thing and one thing only. Everything needs to be the same. So then the crusade was a birth of the hustle. So that credit goes to Vargas's. So what we did is I said, we're going to go through this. I'm going to train them on how to do the crusade. I said, okay, cool. Go ahead, Joe. See how you do it. Hi, my name is Sheena. Did Sally tell you why we're talking today? Oh, no, she didn't. Okay, great. Joe, you see why you're saying that? You're saying that because it helps you slow down your emotions because you're nervous right now. So you say that question when you first start the presentation because then it allows your emotions to go down so that you can go back and start the presentation when they're done. So Sally says, I think we're here to talk about life insurance or something. You're like, yeah, that's exactly it. We're here to explain who we are and what we do. And I want to reassure you, we're not here to recruit you or sell you. I say, Joe, do you know why you have to say that? You have to say that because you want their guard down. And if you have the guard down, they're going to be more willing to listen to you. Now, are you going to want to recruit them and sell them? Of course you do. But you have to say that so they're now willing to listen. So yeah, Sally, for the next 12 minutes, I'm here to explain more about, why did you say 12 minutes, Sheena? I said 12 minutes because if you say 12 minutes to the brain says, man, this is only going to take 12 minutes. I'm going to listen to you now. Okay, great. That's why you say it. So we literally drill, practice, rehearse. And if you're in Oak Brook, how many times we drill, practice, rehearse? All the time. And I wanted them to understand exactly every single reason why I was saying everything I was doing until I knew for a fact that these CFTs had it down to a fact that we're all speaking the same language. Okay, now we had to track the activity. So I was like, we need to figure out a way to track this. I said, if we can get the presentation of the crusade down to 15, 20 minutes, do you know how many appointments we can run in a given day? Okay, great. But we need to figure out what the results are. So we came up with a tracker. Okay, boom, this is the trainee, this is the prospect's name. Okay, friend, family, relative, prospect, what state are they in? Some random notes that you feel about the person, just top of mind. But the last one was a big trigger one. The last one said, now that you did the field training appointment, how many people meet with somebody and they quickly can tell this would be a recruit?
Yeah.
You can quickly tell this is going to be a client. Or you can quickly tell I had nothing to do with this person ever again.
Ever.
That's the most subtle way to say it is NA, not applicable here. So I was relying on my CFTs to actually develop an instinct now, and I'm about to test their instinct. So when you're done with the meeting, I want you to tell me what you feel they're going to be, because what we realized is the power of the result came all through the follow-up. Over 90% of the results that we have had so far this year did not come from the first meeting. They actually came from us following it up, and we only were able to follow up because we were tracking them. So then I said, we need a way to enter this. Okay, great. So once that was written down on paper at the end of the night, I need them to put them into a system. So they started putting in the system. We invested our own personal money to create this system customized to us. And I said, okay, great. Put their name. This is what we need. Boom. And then it pulled out a report. And in that report, it told me, Sheena, currently you, between all the meetings you and all the CFTs that's run, you have 80 potential clients. So you know how they said recruit, client are not applicable? These two numbers are the ones that say that they circle recruit, it goes on the left side. That's that number. If they circle client, it goes on the right side. So what does this look like to you in the world that we live in? 10, 3, 1. So I knew if I got those numbers bigger, then the results will get bigger, because now we were tracking them. Okay, let's keep going. Now I need a way to analyze it. Okay, so I allowed this 10, 3, 1. We were doing the crusades. We saw the conversions. We were able to follow up because I said we have 80 potential clients. Now when I'm meeting with my CFTs, now it's a substantial meeting. Hey, Christian, you have 10 people to follow up with. Let's practice the follow-up. Joanna, Veronica, boom, 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 boom. And this is exactly what we did. So then number 2, training. So I said, oh, interesting. So here we are developing people, but that was during the day. But what happens on Tuesday and Saturday? We had to really tackle this level and progress of how we train people and stop putting it on the carriers and everybody else. Okay, so good. So if I put these activities up and you look at them, what are you going to notice? Typically, this is the feeling and emotions that you all associate with them. Because I did market research. We associate these words with, okay, a fast start, uncomfortable. Phone calls, annoying. Objections, oh, I just don't want to do it. Recruiting, being lazy about it. Frustrated, disappointment, anger, obstacles, tired, worry, fear, resentment, pain. How do I change these associations to these? Instead of it being uncomfortable, how do I make it comfortable? How do I make it pleasant and hardworking is good? And all these good things of encouragement and peace and advantage and energetic and calm and confidence and joy. I got to build up their confidence. I got to teach them. Okay, so then that all allowed me to see, okay, now the development looks like this. First, to bring them confidence, just like when a child starts to walk and they start to color and they start to do things, it's basics. I got to teach them the basics of the actual process of this. Then I develop into product and process, then selling skills, then a CFT, boom, leader in the hierarchy. So if we break it down, let's level 1. Basics. Every Tuesday and Saturday, it's all basics. Gives you examples, everything from the blueprint, builder versus producers, actually doing games with how promotions work where we give them word problems. Same thing with the compensation, breaking down the crusade in a 4-part series where we teach them one by one and we can encourage them by, yes, you're getting it down. We practice ledge, disrupt, and ask techniques so they learn how to handle objections. So these are all basics, and the goal would be I want to nurture and develop the fundamentals of the business into the newest person. Okay, level 2. It's a product process game. Okay, this is now a boot camp that we hold one time every single week for 2 hours. And who gets to come in here? Once you get licensed, because it's another level of training. So this level of training, my goal and outcome, I want more first checks, increase part-time income, increase first checks, increase number of writing agents. And this is the core stuff that we do. It's a repeat every single time. So they go through 5 classes. If they feel they need to go through it again, they go through it again. Every time you're licensed, you go through these 5 classes. A boot camp one time a week for 2 hours. First is navigating bamboo and tracking submitted versus awarding points as licensed agents. Then it's types of life insurance, the basics of illustration, calculating points, and commissions with a team, builder versus producer, placement and persistency, underwriting. So I want to develop, once they get licensed, the fundamentals of what it means to be a licensed agent. This is the feedback. So this group, oh, finally received access to all the carriers I'm appointed to. I just completed my homework. Oh my God, I just did my first field training. And that was fun. I love this. Thank you, Veronica, for her incredible boot camp. She runs our boot camp. Number 1, number 2, logging the carriers. I intend to be contracted with number 3. So we're teaching them how to be independent. So they're doing it. We're telling you, we're leading them, we're guiding them, but they're doing it. Great FLS with this newly appointed agent. She got to experience the life of a writing agent alongside me, submitted 3 children's whole life applications for a total of 880 points. Congratulations. So this group is dedicated to just fostering these licensed agents. Okay, let's go to level 3 now, selling skills. But this is where I like to define, because once they're licensed, I realize this is that turning point in their life that I realize if they're gonna be a producer or a builder. So this class requires me to approve them to come in. And I only approve those I know are gonna be builders. So selling skills is a boot camp once a week for 2 hours, and I'm teaching them how to be proficient at writing as a writing agent, how to increase their points per application, how to go from part-time to full-time income. Because I'm gonna build builders here. This is my filtering process to find and identify the builders. Marlene? This is once a week. I do it on Saturdays for 2 hours at the same time that the product and process bootcamp is going. So you want to get into this class because this is a group that makes the most amount of income next to the level 4, which is certified trainers. I do this once a week. And by the way, this is what I do with my full-timers too, because they give me the most energy. It's just easy to plan the week with people that are motivated, willing, disciplined, aligned, and coachable, like to be held accountable. We have a lot of fun together. The energy is solid. And if you want to be a CFT, you have to do all those requirements. Plus, you have to be nominated and approved to come in there. Because one person can throw off the energy of everything. And I want to keep you in mind, as I show you the numbers of all these implementations that we did, I want you to remind yourself this is only because of 3 people plus me as certified trainers that did these numbers. 3 people plus me. So imagine when that turns to 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. This is our calendar, so I put 1, 2, 3, and 4 all together so you can see it. Just a quick snapshot, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, so you can see it. Just so you can see the laydown. Now let's look at the results. Okay. So that first column was January to December of all of 2020. The next column was just the first 4 months. In the first 4 months, we've already done 74% of our numbers that we did all last year, with just 3 certified trainers plus me. Number of associates with the recruit, we've annihilated that. We're at 84% of what we did all last year. We've done it now in the first 4 months. So the last year, we did 171 individuals that got a recruit. 144 have a recruit so far this year alone. Base points, 44% of the goals. Base apps, 35%. Number of writing agents, which gets me excited, we're at 60%. Which I'm glad when Patrick goes over those numbers. It's the exact conversation I've been having with our core staff. Me and Matt's whole focus on how do we get people licensed faster and writing faster. So if you want to put this from Q3 and Q4 of last year, which is, I call it the most painful recreation moment. For me personally, I couldn't stand it. I don't like letting down individuals that we respect. And I also know that I can handle pressure because I'm that person that prefer the truth. I just don't like to have it candy-coated. And so it just allowed me to really dive deep into saying what was going on and how can we fix this, because it is possible. So the same exact numbers, you're going to notice how much we're annihilating them in Q1 of this year alone, simply because I just did a SWOT analysis of everything that we can tweak and did subtle tweaks. We still have more to tweak. And our tweak right now is how to maintain the filtering appointments at a high level, how to fast start faster, and how to get people licensed faster. So everything that's so fun about this business, like base shop is fun. Building a base shop is like this exciting moment that you have to really take into account that people, I can't stand seeing that they don't enjoy it. Because it made me go back to saying, why are you doing it? Because you can't do it for money. Money's the byproduct. But if you do it because you get excited about seeing that there's more people actually building. There's more people that are learning how to recruit, because recruit is something that people have to learn from scratch. And it's a very difficult thing to do because they have to learn how to talk to people, make new friends. They have to choose to be a leader, choose to have people lead them even when they're not perfect. It's a very scary thing for a lot of people. And then you see people making income on their own versus their whole life they always received a paycheck. You got to get excited about that. That should be your top of mind. If that's your top of mind, when you go out there and recruit people, you do it with the right reasons. You're talking to them, actually genuinely care about them, not like you're looking at them like a paycheck. And when you develop people, then you have more patience with them because you realize what? You were that person at one point in time. You weren't always that coachable. You didn't always get things right away. You didn't always grasp these concepts. And sometimes I feel we forget what it's like to be the newest person. But I hope you guys get excited about it. Because my key takeaways for this whole process that we went through is the elements of what a builder's mindset really looks like. If you put the systems in place with the intention of duplicating yourself, then when you have large numbers, it's easier to monitor, and then you can build it big. Those are my key takeaways. So I hope that you guys leave here today just with that new, renewed mindset that we are in the building game. Have fun with the base shop game because it's incredibly fun. Thank you guys so much.